Now inside, you can't see over here, but you can have a peep on your violins at home through the F-holes. You can see that there's no varnish inside, and there's a little pole. That little pole, it's right under the bridge over there on that side. It's called the sound post. It's called a sound post, or in Italian, an anima. Anima is the heart, the soul of the violin. Why? That sound post is, first of all, keeping the violin from caving in. Why? There's a lot of pressure, as I said, from the strings onto the bridge, and if I did not have that pole underneath, the violin would simply cave in. Apart from that, the sound post will make a big difference in the sound quality of the instrument. The position of the sound post, the texture of the sound post, and so on, it makes a big difference to the sound. Don't play around with it. Only a violin maker or a violin luthier would know what to do with that. Okay. So now there's going to be a picture on your screen about the inner parts of the violin. So just have a look. It's like a cross-section of the violin from the inside, since I don't have a cross-section violin here. Okay, so now we're going to look at the strings. We have the 4 strings there. If you realize, they're different thicknesses. The first string on the violin is the E string, the thinner one on that side over there. That's the one. In Italian it's the Mi, if you know the notes in Italian. The next string, the second string, is the A. That's the one. It's slightly thicker than the E, as you can see. In Italian it's the La. The third string is quite thicker. It's the D, lower in pitch again to the A, and in Italian is the Re. And the last string, the fourth string, is the G, that one there. In Italian it's Sol. And now on the slide you're going to have the notes on the stave. The violin reads the treble clef. So it's quite high in pitch. High in pitch means like having a woman singing rather than a man singing, where the woman's voice is nice and high, the man's voice is low. That would be like a double bass, for example. Okay. Now the strings could be gut strings or metal strings. In olden times they used to use the gut strings. Yes, guts. Animals' guts, baby sheep. Their guts are dried out and they produce a very, very nice sound, I promise you. Nowadays, they use metal strings as well, or synthetic gut. You can have silver strings, you can have golden strings, you can have gut strings covered in metal and so on in aluminium. Okay? Now, we're going to look at the posture, at how to hold this violin. So pick up the violin with your left hand, grab it from the neck, try never to touch any other part of the violin, just always hold it by the neck. Remember, the human being's sweat, dust particles on our hands will all damage the varnish over the years. I'm going to pick up the violin, put it on the left shoulder. No matter if you're right-handed or left-handed, it's always the same, it's always on the left-hand side. Put up your chin, push the violin right underneath, and rest your chin on the chin rest. As you can see, the violin is not in front of me, not right behind me, but somewhere in between, like 45 degrees. Even if it's painful, this has to touch your neck, right inside. Don't let it slide out. Right inside. And put your chin forward and pull it back, as if you're trying to have a double chin. So, there, and pull back. Now, basically, you should be able to do this. It's not magic, but your hand is not there to keep the violin up there, but it's there to play with the fingers later on, so it needs to be able to move. So you need to practice this. Maybe it would be a good idea to do it on a bed or on a cushion or on a sofa, so if it slides off, I won't be responsible for the breaking of your violin. So, the violin's up there. Now we're going to look at how to hold this hand. First of all, the violin neck is going to rest between the thumb and the first finger. So for now, something like that, with the elbow right underneath. You can't have your elbow out there, it's right underneath. Very important, don't stress yourself. No muscle should be stressed. So keep your back very, very straight, shoulders down, there, and elbow right underneath. So the thumb goes like 1 inch away from the nut. The nut is that black edge over there. It's 1 inch away. It's like standing up. It's not lying down, but it's standing up and slightly bent that way. Not bent this way, but bent inwards. It's not popping up, it's hidden away under the neck. So once I have the thumb in place over there, I'm going to touch the first finger with this side of the neck. I'm going to touch the first joint right there, with the neck of the violin, facing the thumb. So the thumb is there, and my first finger is there. Right underneath there's a hole there, which needs to remain as a hole. I can never close it like that. Okay? Always imagine that you're holding something there. It would help sometimes if you can keep a cork over there, just under the neck. It would help you get the feel of it. Okay, so that is approximately my position. Please note, my wrist is very, very flat. I'm not doing that, and I'm not doing that. It's just very, very straight. Now, my fingers are still way out. They should be right on the string. So what do? I just twist my hand that way until I have the fingers approximately over the strings. I bend my fingers, nice and relaxed. They're all curved and they're all spaced out. There's a space between my fingers. I should never have a finger that's depending on another finger, like for example that or that. Okay? They're all independent of each other. They need spaces between them. So today we've seen the position of how to hold the violin. Keep practicing. Next time we'll be looking at how to hold the bow. So I would suggest that you do all that in front of a mirror. Why? Because if you've been trying it with me, you will realize that you can't really look at your hand, at your arm and so on, because they're hidden back there. But if you have a mirror in front of you, like you're seeing me on the monitor, it's much easier. You can look at all that's happening in your arm, all that's happening in the muscles, and you can correct yourself. The mirror will be your own teacher. Now you're going to find a slide coming up soon with points to remember, and I'd like you to keep looking at that very often during the coming week. Check yourself. Be your own teacher. I hope you've enjoyed this session. I'd like to invite you to the next session, which will be how to hold a bow. So for now, goodbye and good luck.